Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game? Featuring World Wonders. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you a brief description on how the game is played and then share a few things I may like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add World Wonders to your collection. Here we have a World Wonders game sort of in progress. I started adding a few pieces to the board just so you get some idea of how it's played. So this is your personal board here, and for each turn you have 7 gold to spend, and then this is your population, and the game ends when your population gets to the end of the board, and then you have 3 resources that you collect off the pieces, and each time you pass the population you move the little head up a spot. Then over here you have the pieces that you're buying, and they're labeled how much they are worth, each of the pieces. These are the pieces currently available for you to buy, and during each round, once you take a piece, you don't refill it. There's 10 of each of the pieces piled up, and so it either goes 10 rounds or when it hits that population. You have roads that you either get a long road or 3 little roads, and they're worth 1 coin, and a tower is worth 2 coins. You also have the option, if you're playing with multiple people, if you want to make sure you go first or second, you can spend a coin to get the first or second token. These are just your placement tokens. And then we have different monuments. And with each of the monuments, they have requirements such as it has to sit beside a road and a farm, and it wants to be on grass. Whereas this one wants to sit beside a road and a museum, and one of it has to be over the water, and the rest can be grass or water. And then this one wants a road and a building and a temple, library and a temple, and wants to be on grass. And then you get benefits. The rings are scoring at the end, and some of these have little resource benefits that you would get during the game. So when we come over to our board here, to start the game you need a road, and you get a road at the beginning. Each person's given one. Because if you're adding a building to your board, it has to touch a road. After that, I could add an additional green building here, then touch the green building. But when I'm adding a new color, it has to be touching a road. Here I've used some of the roads to score points for your buildings. The entire building needs to be covered all around. So if I have exposed ends, you don't get the point. So here I use the roads to fill in a bit of that area, just so as I work up the board, I'll be able to score. So to give you an idea, we look at our buildings here, and I have space for the Hippodrome and the Port of Carthage, but I currently don't have space for the Ziggurat. And so I'm probably going to be focusing on these 2. So when we look down below at what we have available to us, I might buy this building here for 2 coins. So I would move my little token over 2, I take the building, and it's purple, and I don't currently have purple, so I could start a new area with purple, so maybe down here. On it, there's the little green resource, the leaf, and so I move my leaf up 1, and it's going to cover the population, so the population moves up 1. Now it's important to remember to add your resources, because that's the part of the game I always forget to do, so I'm just pointing it out. Now, of course, the people you're playing with will take pieces as well. There's a add-on area for more people to have more pieces on the board. And so maybe for another piece, I'm just looking around, maybe I'll take this green one. It's 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You always need to leave 1 available. And I can maybe put this here. And I get a red and 2 more green. So now I'm down to just 1 coin, so it's time to look at the monuments. Now I can fit the Hippodrome in here. I've got the road and I've got the green and the space. However, the other one gets me that extra resource. So I think I'll go with this one. So you take both the card and the building. So it wants 1 water, the museum, and the road, which I have here. So as long as it sits over that water, it touches the road, it touches the museum, then it's safe to be placed. And then you keep this for the points at the end. And I also moved my vase up one, and it hit a population, so the population moves up. Now you want to keep your resources moving along, because whichever resource at the end of the game is the lowest, those are the points you score for the lowest resource. So you want to be picking out tiles that will keep all your resources moving forward. Then at the end of the round, I've spent all my money. You clear out these tiles here, and you just flip over for the next set of tiles. If you need to replace the roads, you replace the roads or the tower. And the monuments actually get replaced throughout the game. So if I use this one, I would put a new monument here for the next person to have like 3 to choose from if you're playing with 2 players. And that is basically how World Wonders is played. So I realized that I really like tile laying games, and I like when they add something a bit unique to them. So the monuments are a really unique touch. There's lots of really great ones. You just pull out cards, and they're in a deck, and whatever card comes up next is the next monument. So it's a lot of fun, and then having the challenge of fitting the monuments onto your board. There's like pyramids that I have no idea how one would fit them on. They're so large. But anyway, that's all part of the fun challenge. I also like the board here of having that little money you spend each time, and then building up your population and your resources is really unique too. And then the pieces here, choosing it based on the money. I find a lot of times I don't go for the large pieces because it's not about filling your board so much. It's about making sure all your pieces are like surrounded. So you're not, if you have empty pieces, you don't lose any, or empty spaces, you're not losing points. Just so you know too, you also gain points if you do not cover the little bushes and trees. However, you are allowed to cover it. You would just lose a point if you did. At the end, you don't lose a point, it's just you don't gain a point. And the other thing I really like is the solo version of this game. It's all based on cards. And you just turn a card and it will be like it wants the road, or if the road's not there, it wants this piece. If this piece isn't there, then it wants a monument. And so it's just as if somebody else was playing the game and removing a piece that you're no longer able to get. And otherwise, you're just playing your own game as you would. And so I really enjoy playing this solo. Overall, I think this is a pretty solid game. There's not much I dislike about it. However, the one thing I found in playing the solo mode is that the cards really like to take the roads from you. So this card, it takes all the roads. Sometimes it's only one set of roads, but they love to take the roads. So if you do want roads when you're playing solo, I would get them first during that turn, because I'd be afraid that the card was going to steal my roads. So that's the only thing really I found, which isn't that big of a complaint. I mean, the person you're playing against could easily take all the roads. But otherwise, I think it's a pretty solid game. If you like tile laying games, it's really nice. It's relaxing. And yeah, I'd say go for it. So let me know in the comments if you've played World Wonders and what you think of the game.